Good day, everyone, and welcome to Edpuzzle Party Europe. This is the first Edpuzzle Party we've had for the European cohort. We are going to be welcoming a bunch of teachers, inspiring educators who have used both this platform and use other platforms to try and enhance teaching and learning. Now, video has been a key kind of player over the last 12 months during the remote learning phase. And some of the things that people have been using have helped enhance that learning experience for students, including platforms like Edpuzzle. But what is Edpuzzle? Let's take a look.
Want to create amazing video lessons in minutes? Edpuzzle is your missing piece. With Edpuzzle, you can choose from the millions of videos available from YouTube, National Geographic, TED Talks, Khan Academy, and more. You can also reuse ready-to-go video lessons made by other teachers or upload your very own teaching video. Then, use Edpuzzle's video editor to create your perfect lesson. Embed your own questions to check your students' understanding, cut sections to show your students only the most important parts of the video, and even record voiceover so you can explain concepts in your own words. Once you've finished, you can assign it to your students in just one click and prevent skipping to make sure your students don't miss a thing. When you want to check in on your students' progress, use Edpuzzle's hassle-free analytics to get all the information you need. See who still needs to watch the video, what your students responded, and their total scores. So remember, with Edpuzzle's free platform, you can make any video your lesson.
A great tool for anybody who uses video content in their classroom to enhance teaching and learning. So we're going to hear from some people who are experienced in this field of using video content through Edpuzzle and other tools over the next 30 minutes. Let's jump to the party room, guys. Hello, everyone.
Woo! Hello, Evo.
How's it going, guys? Thank you. Thank you very much for joining me for this Edpuzzle party. It's nice to see some faces in here, some new faces, some of the older faces that I'm a bit more familiar with. So let's get a few quick introductions. Lenny, would you like to start?
Hi, I'm Lenny. I'm the NYP coordinator at the International School of Stuttgart, but I'm currently on maternity leave with my 4-month-old baby. I also teach NYP design. I've been a librarian in the past. I've been a tech coach, and I've been using Edpuzzle for a good few years now. And next person, maybe on to Jimena.
Okay. Hi, you guys. I'm Jimena. I'm a modern foreign languages teacher at a school in Madrid. I teach English and German mainly from years 7 to 12. And I've been using Edpuzzle for many years now. I'm an Edpuzzle coach and Google trainer. And yeah, I love it.
That's great. It's great to hear, Jimena. Nuriye, you'd be next.
Hi, Nuriye here. I am at International School Stuttgart as well, same as Lenny, you. And I teach DP and MYP mathematics. I am the curriculum leader of the mathematics in ISS Stuttgart, and I've been using Edpuzzle a couple of years now, and it is amazing for math teachers. We can type math.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Annelouise. I'm deputy head of a school here in Madrid, Spain. I'm going to use my joke that I always use. I'm not Spanish. Hola, encantada. So yeah, I'm excited to be here as always, ready to join the party.
Cool. I'll take over. Evo, hi, I'm David. I'm assistant head at Licitra in Switzerland, an international boarding school. I've never used Edpuzzle before in my life, so I'm looking forward to the discussion and see what's going on. My background, I teach design. I've been doing it for far too long. Still keep my hand in with teaching IB diploma design and technology, but involved in digital strategy and everything else. So I'm really looking forward to how we can see Edpuzzle involved in what we do at our school and with our students.
Oh, I love that. So many people from so many different countries. Well, I am
Oh, is it frozen?
Looks it.
It is. We missed you.
I think
Maybe we should jump to Adam and then come back to Georgina when she reconnects.
Yeah.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'm Adam. I'm the Director of Studies at a school in Kent, which is effectively a posh way of saying assistant head responsible for curriculum. I've never used Edpuzzle before. I'm really excited to see how it can influence teaching and learning at my school and for children. And so really looking forward to learning more and how I can use and apply this in our setting with our children.
Thanks, Adam. Georgina, I think it cut you off a little bit. Do you want to just do the intro again?
Absolutely. This is what happens when you join from the future, right? They were joining all the way into London. So yeah, from the future, a couple hours ahead in Van Jordan. So thanks for having me, Evo. Super excited to party with all these people and meet new friends. I'm working as Director of Learning Technology for a K-12 nonprofit international school here in Jordan, helping them with their digital transformation. Really excited to share about how we're using Edpuzzle.
Brilliant. Brilliant. It's nice to know that we can't hold you back, Georgina. You know what I mean? Always appreciate the passion. So, I mean, jumping straight into someone who's going to share some insights. Lenny, you use Edpuzzle quite a lot in enhancing teaching and learning. Do you want to share a few things that you get up to?
So I think when I was first using Edpuzzle, I was using it and dropping in multiple choice questions and open questions and just using it to check for understanding, which worked fantastically. But something that really changed the way I use it was I went to a Project Zero conference, and Ron Richard was saying, if you have a student and you're watching a video and they're trying to take notes, they will write down absolutely every single thing they hear. Right? He said, what the best thing to do is to get a student to watch a video and then stop it after 30 seconds or a minute and get them to only write down the key features. You can get them to do a bullet point list or get them to write keywords. So they're actually recalling what is important instead of recalling everything. So now I use Edpuzzle for that. And I want to give an example of why I think this is super important. I really like the videos by Vox. I don't know if you've watched them. They have a series called Earworms. It's kind of about the importance of different musical styles. They have a video which is all about disco. And I love the video. When I watched it, my mouth was wide open. I was like, this is so good. I didn't know all this stuff. But I could only actually remember the one thing that it said was that when records changed in size, that's when songs changed in length. I can't recall any other facts because I was just passively watching. I wasn't actually stopping and taking notes or being active or interactive. So I think that's a really good way to use Edpuzzle. And then the other way I use it, as a design teacher, often we demo stuff on the board, right? I'll show them how to use Adobe Illustrator. They'll follow along and nod and they get it. But as soon as they have to go and use the same tool, they'll have the hands up, Miss, how do I do this? How do I do this? And so this might seem really obvious or tedious, but sometimes I put tutorials on Edpuzzle and I'll show like myself clicking the yellow button. It will stop and say, which button do you now click to reduce the size of this image? Yellow, red, or green? And so they actually are not just kind of sitting there and listening, they're really, really actively taking on that information. And that has saved me a huge amount of time. It's helped my students master their skills really easily. So not just for recalling the information, but really for active listening and digesting the information. That's the two things I use it for the most these days. So any questions from anyone?
That's brilliant.
I'll kick in, Lenny. I really like that idea of having the interaction that the students can stop, pause, and go. It's a bit like Netflix for education, isn't it? In a way, you can actually control what they do. You can also suppose set it. Can you set it as almost like I don't want to use the term, but Quizlet. You know, can they use it as a quiz and then dive in and respond to what you're doing as well?
Exactly. So when I do it as a tutorial, it will show them to do something. And then what I normally do is say we're going on to, say, Adobe Illustrator again. We're doing more advanced ones. What I'll do then is I'll have pretty much the same video or similar video, usually the same video, and I stop it before I show them. So whereas before, when I'm first introducing it, I'll show them like, now you press the yellow button, and they have to click yes, yellow button. This time I'll move the question slightly so they have to answer it before I show them. And so I can set this as homework. I try to really not give that much homework because our kids are doing so much, right? If I do homework, it's usually Edpuzzle, maybe another tool that I can time limit. So I know that my video is only 4 minutes long, and I know that maybe answering the questions is an additional 2 minutes. So it's not going to take them a long time. Or what I'll do at the beginning of the class, we'll spend 15 minutes where they're all plugged in, and then they're just watching the tutorial, and then they start creating something with, say, Adobe Illustrator. I'm there to support them. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, and I imagine that they engage really easily with Edpuzzle because it's the type of thing that youngsters just enjoy doing as well, isn't it? They forget it's education. They just get stuck in.
Exactly. And I think even the very best student who really wants to learn everything, if you give them even just a 5-minute video, they're not going to remember everything. Whereas putting these little breaks in through the Edpuzzle and getting them to respond, it's like at university, I wrote notes in every single lecture I went to. I never, ever read my notes back, but the act of writing the notes was the thing that helped me learn. So I think especially for those things when they're learning a new piece of software, a new skill, it's really important because they're not just watching. They have to think, okay, what do I do? They're almost following along as a tutorial, but just through the video.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that, Lenny. Nuriye, would you like to give a little bit of feedback on what you've just heard as well?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in actually. I use it for my math lessons, and I teach higher level math. Very often things are quite complicated for many of the higher level students as well. I use it in similar ways like Lenny, sometimes just introduction of a topic, and I want to check in, not just passively listen the video, where I create my lecture almost, and I put questions in between. And I like the flexibility of different types of questions. You can put true-false questions, you can put open-ended questions, etc. And that helps me to see what they're doing simultaneously if I am just in the class. And because now we're online, I can just see what they're doing. The other thing I use it as also tutorials. We use graphic display calculators, and they need to remember where to press when. And also, like Lenny, I just give short videos, and I make it nothing more than 4 minutes of video and a couple of questions, and it is really effective. But kids, younger ones, the middle school, MYP kids and DP kids, they all love it, because even with the classes online, they're online, but just being on their own and listening in their own time, it really helps them on pace. That's really important.
Thank you very much.
Nuriye, you mentioned the difference between having like multiple choice or true-false questions and open questions. I think that's really useful as well, because in a classroom setting or online, often you have the same kids raising their hand, or you want to, or even if you call on all kids equally, some of them are very nervous, whereas having those open questions means that you can understand what their thoughts are before you call on them, or also it just gets every single person involved. So instead of hands up where maybe you're taking responses from 3 kids, when you're doing it for an open question on Edpuzzle, you're getting an answer from every single student in the room. So I think it's super powerful for that too.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah,
and just you saying that right now, I'm just thinking, because we have hybrids, we have some children in school and some children at home, and I think this is just going to add so much extra depth to that, just to even have them online at the same time and engage with the lesson just in that moment. Now, what I like about it is that it's video. So I'm a music specialist as well as deputy head, so I do the music lessons, and I've been sitting thinking, how can I use this in my class? Now, I had to use a YouTube video because we were learning a song. So really it's just adding that extra depth for the children at home who maybe get lost in the discussion, and there's a lot of noise in a music lesson as well. So you can imagine doing music hybrid, where you've got the video where everyone's silent, everyone watches the video, and then the class just erupt into, right, we're going to try this, and they've got the tambourines out, and the poor people at home are just like, what is going on? But if you just had that other video that we could make for them, just to show them, right, you put everything on silent, I'll put myself on silent, watch this video now, and it breaks it up for them for me just to say, you know, I can do it at home or whatever, and get them to say, right, stop at this bit, you know, get a pot and pan and start doing this bit, for example. But it means that they can watch that video while the other class is making a massive amount of noise. So already I'm really thinking of how it can be used in that way. Don't know, has anyone else used it in music before?
Don't know, do we have any other music teachers in the party?
I haven't, but I thought a nice way would be if the students were recording, you could almost get the students to send their own music, or you could make a little compilation of some of the students' music, and then instead of answering like factual questions, they could be giving feedback, because that's something the students struggle with. So you have a little compilation that shows, I don't know, 5 kids' music performance, and all the other students say, oh, here they used staccato. Is that something musical? I don't know.
It sounds like,
and I love the bit here, and the so-and-so did so well on the violin.
Yeah.
No, I know. I think it's great. It's just adding so much depth, and I can even just listening to you now, Lenny, and I've written down some notes because I've never used it before. I'll be honest with you, I've never used it before. But thinking about how can I use this? How is it different to YouTube? And that's what I was really interested to hear. How is it different to YouTube? And I think listening to you, I've written down lots of ideas, and just and the demo to follow along, cutting it up into small chunks, because you know, as I say, like music can be quite long, and they can get quite lost. So yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you, Lenny.
Guys, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about connecting and learning from each other, and hopefully enhancing that teaching and learning experience for students in the classroom and obviously at home as well. I know Jimena works with using Edpuzzle to create projects. Jimena, do you want to tell us a little bit more about how you do that?
Yeah, I have been using Edpuzzle for many years, but I have never realized how powerful it was until we had lockdown last year. And during lockdown, I decided to try new things. So one of the things I decided to try is this option that was hidden there in Edpuzzle, which was called projects. It allows you not only to assign a video with questions to students, it allows you to get students create their own videos with questions. So it's like kind of for flipped learning, that's really powerful. And I have done that during lockdown a lot. And I even did it with the good groups, because now I have a lot of videos with questions, which I can reuse in future years, you know, because they did wonderful things explaining grammar points that we were seeing in German, which is really hard. And I kept them, and it's fantastic. So that's one of the things I discovered during lockdown that changed my life. Another thing I did, which is really simple, but I had never thought about it. During lockdown, I realized that I was preparing awesome videos for my students, but nobody was watching them, you know? And it was kind of frustrating because I spent a lot of time creating these wonderful videos explaining grammar points and vocabulary, etc. And nobody was watching, just 2 people or so. So Edpuzzle allowed me to include some questions to my own videos, because on Edpuzzle you can post your own videos, not only select videos from YouTube, you can post your own. And since we use Google Classroom at my school, Edpuzzle syncs with Google Classroom. So those videos that I posted were automatically graded. And that saved me tons of time, because kids who watched my videos got 100 points automatically. So I could really easily know who was doing their work and who wasn't. So that really changed my life. And it was so simple. It was just adding 2 silly questions or whatever at the end of the video to make sure that everybody got till the end, because they weren't doing it before. And then a third option I discovered recently, actually, not during lockdown, is that Edpuzzle allows you to have Edpuzzle live. I actually did that today in a class, and it's awesome because you can do it with the whole class And I used it for reviewing before an exam. It allows us to answer together, no competition. Nobody was concerned about the grade, having all the answers correct or not. That wasn't the big thing. The main point was to review together their answers, and they really liked it, and me too. And I think that's a nice option to explore as well at Edpuzzle Live. And then what else? As Annelouise mentioned, this tool allows us to attend to diversity. So for, this allows you to give a video, assign a video to students, and maybe the students who need more time with a video can spend that more time with a video, and the other ones do not need to do that. So when I assign homework, I agree with Lenny. I try to do simple things or short things. I don't want them to spend hours and hours with homework. So I use Edpuzzle for that too, just to have them watch the video with an explanation or so that we're going to be working during the next lesson. And that's really helpful because slow learners can spend more time with it, and the other ones can just watch it in 3 minutes and that's it. So I think that's really powerful. And just a couple more things and I finish because I'm running out of time. I have here my stopwatch. Yeah. I also like the voiceover feature. I don't know if you know it, but Edpuzzle allows you to put your own explanations on any video that you choose, which is awesome. I also include audio answers. I get students use just mode or Vocaroo to take their oral answers, not only written answers. And the last thing is the training that Edpuzzle offers. If you don't know it, and if it's the first time you're here listening about Edpuzzle, I encourage you to go to their website and take one of the courses that they have because they are awesome.
Correct.
And that's it.
And then I was just going to jump in and say one thing. I know that you mentioned something that works really well is that you can see if the students have actually watched your video because you can go ahead and see if they've answered the questions. And you can also give those students who need more time. They can re-watch parts. But something that I thought was also really good was talking about the flipped classroom is that you can see which students have struggled as well. So those students, say we're doing a tutorial, those students that aced it, they know how to do it, I can partner them with the students that struggled, or I can work directly with them as well. So it's really, really good for knowing where to funnel your energy and time when you meet up again.
Yeah, exactly. You can also see how many times a student watched a certain part of the video. So that's really useful information.
So, Jimena, is this part of the data analytics that Edpuzzle has? It's part of the package, is it? That's what you get? The ability to see this...
Yeah, when you access the video, you see all the information, how many times kids watched it, how much time they spent, because if you set it up so that they cannot skip questions, they won't be able to. But if you forget, you would know, because if a student spent too little time, you would know that they were cheating. So you have a lot of information there. They can't I remember the first times I used to assign Edpuzzle, not other teachers weren't doing it. So kids told me, oh no, I had a problem with a video. I couldn't watch it. It's not working, whatever. And I showed them all this information and they could see the time they spent, at what time they did it, because some of them did it during lessons and I caught them. So you have all the info there.
I think before using Edpuzzle, it was kind of demoralizing if you gave a video out and then you're expecting everyone to watch it and then come to class ready to go and none of them had watched it or they kind of half watched it. So this really takes that away. You know that if you're setting a 3-minute video, which is so important at the beginning of next class, that it will get done. And I think it really transformed, because before I was avoiding using video because I didn't have those features.
Yeah, no.
And the automatic grading with Google Classroom is amazing. It's amazing. Kids love getting 100 points, So if it's just include one question, they will all do it just to get their 100 points.
Yeah, to be honest, the integration with Google Classroom is an amazing feature of Edpuzzle. So anybody whether you're in the party at the moment or you're tuning in live on YouTube. If you use Google Classroom and you're familiar with the platform, it's a great tool. Edpuzzle's a great tool to use with Google Classroom together. Just before we jump in, because we've had a lot, we just had a lot of information there to digest. A lot is obviously going on. No, that's cool. Jimena, that's what the party's about. Do you know what I mean? Share how you feel, be passionate about what you do, and don't ever let anybody say otherwise. So, with that in mind, guys, I know that we've got one last person who is going to be sharing their thoughts, which is going to be Georgina. And I know Adam is dying to come in because I can just see him. He's itching to talk about a few bits. But before we do that, guys, we're going to take a close look at the top schools that use Edpuzzle in Europe. Okay, now, teams, listen out for what I'm saying, because you might need to recall this information. Just saying. Okay, so top 5 schools in Europe. Okay, most active schools. So these are the schools who actually took advantage of the trial, the Edpuzzle trial that was offered during the lockdown. In number 5, okay, it's Mossbourne Community Academy in London in the UK. Number 4 is Colaste Bale Clare School in Ireland. Number 3, it's ACS in Greece. Number 2 is Lambert High School in the UK. And number 1, guys, is the Han School in the Netherlands. So, guys, congratulations to the Han School in the Netherlands and everybody else who is taking advantage of these features to make teaching and learning much easier and much more engaging. But also, from a teacher's point of view, we're all teachers in this classroom, it actually makes it easier for you to do your job as well, guys. Do not forget that the great EdTech tools actually enhance your ability to have a little bit more of a balance in the classroom, because they take care of a lot of things. So back to the party, and Georgina, so you're in a leadership role, and you kind of oversee how EdTech is used. How do you kind of go about implementing a platform like Edpuzzle across your school?
Yeah, super awesome question. So I actually was really impressed with Edpuzzle's customer service. So the way that they had communicated with our IT manager and myself to help us get that started was really, really smooth. You know, here's the link to get you started. Here are some videos to help you set that up, etc., and really walked us through the process. So I really appreciated that. So did our school's IT manager and department, because, you know, these are all new, right, for everybody, not just for educators and students and parents. So that was really helpful. And it is really just as easy as that. So literally you can connect through Google Classroom. We're a Google school. We use Google Workspace for Education. So it's as simple as add a new class, and you can click on create a new class, or you can click on add class from your LMS, which is a learning management system. So that includes things like Google, Microsoft Teams, Schoology. So shout out to Shannon, who's in the chat, and she uses Schoology and loves using Edpuzzle also, who's watching in YouTube. So there are many different things, and I did drop the link for the LMS integration. So if your school uses different ones, please click on the link so that you can find out if your school is eligible for that integration. But the bottom line is the ease and simplicity of using it. So what we did was, from an organizational perspective, we actually connected our admin account for Google Classroom, and it synced all of our Google Classrooms directly for us. And because that admin account actually oversees all of the Google Classrooms in the school, like it is the owner of all the Google Classrooms, it means that all of the teachers that are in peer groups, or the teachers that are in phases or faculties or departments, whatever part of the world you're in, it means that they all automatically were in that Edpuzzle Google Classroom. That means teacher assistants, assistant teachers, co-teachers, class teachers, heads, anybody has access. So if somebody's off sick, that means that it's a really smooth, seamless for other members of the school to hop in and use Edpuzzle. So it's a really, really incredible integration feature, and it really, really saves teachers a lot of time, because if one teacher wants to plan maths, for example, and post this awesome, inspiring Edpuzzle integration video as a flipped learning, for example, they can just click 3 check marks and it's posted across all of the Google Classrooms for that department or faculty. So it's really, really brilliant. Jimena, I'm glad I had something to say, because Jimena took all the awesome tips and tricks that I was going to share with Google Classroom. But I did just want to add on one other thing to what she was saying that I shared with my staff when we provided professional learning for our staff. And that was the certifications. I wanted to add on that there's also certifications available for students. So you need to gauge your community and your learners and see where they are at with their learning curve, with their skills, etc. But if this is something that you would like to support your students with, why not? Gamification is the new name of the game, right, Evo? And people at the Edpuzzle Party. So gamify stuff, get your badges. Your students love that. Educators love that. And these certifications are absolutely brilliant. And the last thing I guess I would say, just looking at the different tabs I had open with all the amazing Edpuzzle things, is just the variety of videos. So we talked about earlier, like making sure that we're creating content, but also what content is available to support staff, students, and also parents. So if you're in a hybrid or you're in a remote learning situation, what about the parent community who may have never used Edpuzzle, or what is that about? So there are all these short, really digestible tutorials that really can support parents at home. It's really, really been excellent. So those are my top tips for organizational integration.
Thank you, Georgina. You guys have shared so much, and for people who are watching and tuning in, and for people who are part of the party who aren't familiar with the platform, there's a lot for you guys to sink your teeth into. Adam, I know you're somebody who, I've been following you for quite a while on Twitter. Tell us a little bit about how you use video content and how you think something like Edpuzzle could possibly enhance your teaching and learning.
Yeah, so thanks, Evo. Very much appreciated. I think for us as a school, especially with lockdown and remote learning, this would have been a really valuable tool. And something that for home learning going forward can continue to be really valuable as well. There's so many great links, and so many things that Lenny, Georgina and Jimena have said about how it can be used is fantastic, and links to really the ideals that I think are so important with education at the moment. So looking at Rosenshine's principles of instruction, and how they can be utilised. So looking at small steps, so talking about the videos being stopped and started at relevant points, for retrieval and children being able to looking at recall of things that have been previously learned, and various other points there, and feeding back and self and peer assessment with each other and with us as educators, involving parents as well. Which Georgina just said is absolutely vital, especially in today's age, and parents essentially helping support children at home. Something like this, and the tutorial aspect, and making it so easy to access and to be a part of and to learn about would be fantastic. We're not a Google school. We use a different software. And all of our children in our senior school get devices when they join in year 7. So for them to have access to this, where they can learn independently and do so at home, and the self-assessment for them to help to reinforce their learning independently and build up those study skills, would be really important to help them moving forward. So I'm really impressed. As I said, I've never come across Edpuzzle until it was mentioned to me, and I had a quick look last night, and it looked fantastic, but not in as much detail as you guys have gone into tonight. And I'm really looking forward to delving into it more and how we can utilise this across the school, not just with our senior school children from year 7 above, but also for our children in our primary section as well. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for them to learn through a different media, and to learn from it in a different style, but also having those learning strategies that have become so important and so well written about in today's research, that this really links into and feeds across, and I think will be a vital tool going forward for educators, children, and even for parents, as Georgina said, going forward. So really impressed and looking forward to learning a lot more.
Absolutely. And you know, what you've just shared there, Adam, is great, because there's going to be teachers who watch this show, even on replay, who don't know what the platform is. So to be able to hear somebody who's essentially just learning about it and can already create those connections with how it's going to benefit you as a teacher and possibly as a school is absolutely brilliant. So great job, Adam.
I mean, just listening to the three talk about what is available, all of a sudden, all these cogs and all these links were being made to, this is really good practice, and this is embedded in current research, and how we can use that in school. So it was ticking loads of boxes as I was listening. So very well explained. Thank you very much, guys.
Great. No,
Same here, Adam. I think exactly the same, Adam. Everything was just clicking off, because me and Adam were worried that we didn't know enough for tonight's discussion, and we had a little discussion of our own, and I think that both of us think the same. It's you three have explained it absolutely beautifully, so thanks very much.
Yeah.
Can I add one more great thing that it does is, like, as a teacher, you can only show them so much, right? I can do certain science experiments in my room. If I'm a music teacher, I can only play one musical instrument, 2 musical instruments. Whereas now you can use all these incredible videos. Instead of showing, I don't know, a physics experiment in the classroom, I could show a roller coaster, and then at some point it stops and asks them what force is in motion. Or I can have the Royal Symphony Orchestra showing stuff. So it's combining those two things of having fantastic content from experts and then also making it interactive. So I think it's the best.
It provides its own scaffolding by the fact that you can pause and go over content again, and children are going to learn at different speeds and different paces and take in certain concepts faster than others. And the fact that you can pause and reflect and go back in your own time, at your own convenience, and what's suitable for you is a scaffold in itself that can really support teaching and learning.
And Adam, students also learn different ways, right? They don't all learn just from reading the textbook. Some of them like to see stuff, some of them like to hear, and by using video in your classroom, you're giving them those different entry points for learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just to kick in on that, guys, I mean, we've talked about students all the time, but again, I'm a newbie to this, and I love the whole concept, but I can see it from a CPD, professional development opportunity for the teachers and our teams as well. We're going through that at the moment, quality of teaching and learning. How do you do your stuff in the classroom, studio, music lab, what have you? And this is an ideal kind of platform, I think, to kind of harness some of the stuff we've been talking about here from an adult perspective and putting it into how we improve the craft of what we do. How do you deliver to kids? How do we engage? How do we inspire? And I can see many ways. I've just been writing a lot of stuff down there, how we can actually, use Edpuzzle to support that. So this is, it's just cool stuff. Thank you. Keep going.
Cool. Well, I mean, to get any more information out of these guys might be asking a bit too much. So hopefully we will be having more of these parties in the near future, and people like yourself, David, Annelouise, and Adam may possibly want to lead on some of those conversations once you've used the platform, which would be awesome, because we're taking learners into experts, which is all about the learning journey within a community, guys.
Sign us up. Sign us up.
Brilliant.
That was really done, and that will cost you, Evo. Shocking.
We're going to knock it out the park, aren't we, Adam?
Well, I mean, guys, the thing is albeit, as Annelouise may already know, the quiz that's about to start may be a decider of whether you want to return back to the show or not. So let's see what this is all about. Guys, if you're tuning in, we are going to end the show with a little bit of fun. We're going to have a bit of a quiz that relates kind of to the information that we've shared during the show, and some other bits that are kind of widely connected. Unbelievably, a lot of the things that I'm going to ask, this group in the party have actually shared in the chat. So what I am going to ask, guys, is don't look at the chat, because if you do, it's not going to be a competition. Like, you've literally written down all the answers. So
I didn't hear what you said anyway. It cut out. Eva, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
It's my accent, Annelouise. It's my accent. So we have the oranges versus the blues. We're going to have Captain Lenny on the oranges. Do you want to introduce your team?
Okay, I have Jimena and I also have David, and I think Annelouise is also on my team. I did have Nuriye, my colleague, but she's gone over to the blues.
Dark side.
So she's no longer.
So, oranges, do you feel confident?
I feel nervous. I feel scared. I just one panic, but I'm excited for it.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
We're gonna win.
Yeah, okay. Georgina.
Orange team. Orange team. Orange team.
It started already. It started. Georgina, captain of the Blues. Do you want to introduce your team, please?
We are blues in the house. That's my blue flag. All right, so we have the lovely Nuriye. We have Adam, who's also lovely, and David.
Oh no, not David.
From the orange team.
Oh no,
That's
not
right.
David.
We're
Don't be
just-
trying to snatch David, Georgina. Okay.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do, right?
we don't need the fourth person. We're perfectly great.
Oh, I like it. It's fighting talk. So, here we go, guys.
3 against 4.
Here we go. Here we go. So, yeah, it's 3 against 4. So I'm going to make a start, guys. I'm going to explain the rules very quickly to the people who are tuning in. There are going to be 5 questions. Question 1 and question 3 will directly go to the orange team. Question 2 and 4 will directly go to the blues. Question 5 is the closest to the pin, and whoever gets the closest answer will get double points. Each question's worth 2, apart from the last one, which is worth 4. Okay, so it's all to play for, guys. If you do not get the answer right in the 15 seconds, I'm only going to give you 15 because the teams are smaller now. In the 15 seconds, it will go to the other team. But I do request the people in the party, please do not look at the chat window because it's going to kind of spoil it. For people who are tuning in live, feel free to type in your answers into the chat and let's see how many points you can get. Okay, so here we go. Question number 1 to the orange team. Okay, you've got 15 seconds.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You've got 15 seconds to answer this. The answer does need to come from the captain. Okay, National Geographic is one of the main platforms that links to Edpuzzle, but when was it founded? You will have a tolerance of a decade. So if you're within a decade of the date, you will get the answer. 15 seconds, guys.
Guys, right in the chat. I think it could be the 80s, it could be the 30s. I have no clue.
Let's go for the 40s.
40s, 1940s.
Oh, David said 63.
I
don't know. You said
I think it's sooner. I think it's sooner. 1900?
4.
20s.
Oh,
Let's go for 1930. We're in the middle of those.
right, okay, go, Lenny. Go,
Go, Lenny.
Lenny.
1940. Go, Lenny.
1940s.
1940 is your answer, Lenny? Okay. It is going to go. It is going to go to the blue team, guys.
I'm pretty sure National Geographic Channel came out around the 90s, so I think it's around I want to say...
Guys, it's not the channel. It's the actual company. The company, guys. The company.
I'm going to go with...
We want another girl, please.
I think
3,
Nuriye?
2, 1. Guys, what is your answer?
1960s.
1960s. Okay, so that's cool. You've given a decade.
It's earlier.
Okay, guys,
It's earlier.
it's actually 1888.
Whoa,
Moses.
that means we won.
Wow.
So guys, technically, guys, I mean, honestly, guys,
Sorry,
not
Jimena.
not that I'm not trying to make this a sharing experience, but you guys are about 80 years out. Anyway, guys, not to worry. It was close. Not to worry. Question number
You get
2.
a point for being closest.
Question number 2. So no points. Question number 2 goes to the blue team. Did anyone get that right in the in on YouTube? Actually, I wonder if anyone got that right. We haven't had anybody answer. Okay, so question number 2, blue team. What year? Again, another preferred platform, TED, the TED Talks. What year was the first TED Talk? This has to be within 2 years, though, because it's recent, obviously. So you've only got a 2-year tolerance. Blue team, 15 seconds.
My initial guess of 1750 was going to be wrong. I think early 90s.
First TED Talk, guys.
I was gonna say late 80s or early 90s. Also, I think they were out when I was in high school. I think.
Maybe. Well, I don't know when that is.
Don't insult
Maybe.
Sorry, guys. Because there's obviously been a bit of a confusion here. The first TED Talk that was shared, the broadcast was shared. Let me put that in because that's quite important.
Oh,
I just don't think Adam's listened to the question again.
1994. So I'm thinking late 90s, early noughties then.
Okay, so Georgina, I am going to have to take the answer. You need to give me a specific year because you've only got a 2-year tolerance on this.
2-year tolerance. So what are we thinking, guys? 1996, maybe?
1995.
95? Okay, we're going to go
95.
with 1995.
Okay, blues. It is going to go to the oranges, guys. You've got 15 seconds.
Okay, guys, what do you think? You're not talking about YouTube.
2000.
Yeah, I reckon
2004?
2005, 2004,
Right.
2005.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go 2004.
Yeah, let's go for 2004 because we didn't listen to
2004.
Jimena the last time.
Okay. You didn't.
Yes.
And guys, it pays to listen to Jimena. It's 2006. You get 2 points. Congratulations, guys. You are off the mark. Well done. Jimena is the fountain of knowledge in this party, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you sit in her corner next time. 2 points to the oranges. They just stole away those points from the blues. Next question. Please do not check the chat for this. Next question, guys, is for the oranges. Okay. So there are 2 UK schools in the top 5 list. Larbert, should I say, Larbert High School.
And Mossbourne.
Oh, wow. That is, yes. There you go. Mossbourne Community Academy. I hope you did not check the chat, Lenny. Did you check?
I even
No, she did.
Good,
she did.
good,
she,
good.
Like, copied and pasted
that
so
was
the
number
chat
5 as
disappeared.
well. If that gives me a bonus point.
Yeah. Well,
No, it doesn't, but I'm glad that you're listening. So thank you.
Well, the orange team.
Oranges are on 4. Guys, question number 4.
4, Adam.
Okay, question number 4, guys. This goes to the blues. Come on, blues. As well as Nat Geo, TED, and YouTube, what was the other platform that was mentioned as a preferred platform to use in the intro video?
Khan Academy was one.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Georgina?
Yeah.
You need to say the answer.
Sorry, Khan Academy.
Khan Academy. All right. Guys, Khan Academy is the right answer, guys. Blues are on 2, oranges on 4. And here's the interesting bit. Because the last question is worth 4 points, whoever gets it actually wins. So, this is a beauty of a question, guys. You're going to have 20 seconds, and then I need the answers from both captains only. So, Georgina and Lenny and the little baby. We want the answer from the little baby as well.
People on our team now.
Brilliant. You've got our little mascot for the oranges there, Lenny. I love it. So let's see who takes away the prize. Okay. Larbert High School has 34 active teachers and they are second in Europe. The highest is Hand School, as you know. How many active teachers, based on the Edpuzzle records, do they currently have? The closest wins. 20 seconds. Go.
Got no bloody idea.
86.
I reckon Blue need to answer first.
86.
Doesn't work like that, Lenny.
We go for 86.
Annelouise. Good call.
What was the number in the middle again?
34 was the second.
34.
Think, Lenny?
Okay.
What's first?
52. I don't know. It's
I'm
got to
going
be-
with
it's
more
really more than 34.
mid-60s.
Annelouise is saying something, but I feel like I should trust Jimena because she got the other ones right.
I'm not sure on this one. I'm just guessing.
We say 53.
I don't know how I feel about that, Lenny.
I'm going to go in the middle of the two, okay? So I'm going to go for 63.
Okay, so guys, 20
that what I
seconds is
said?
up. No, 20 seconds is up, guys. You can't obviously give the same answer. So Lenny, you've said 63.
Say 64.
Hold on a minute. Actually, guys, the Blues aren't. The Oranges are winning. So, Georgina, do you want to go first or second with your guess?
Oh, come on, Eva.
No
You're just
pressure,
changing
yeah.
the rules all the time.
We're going to go second on this one.
Okay. So Lenny, what do you want? What do you want to say?
63.
63. I do have to say that is very close, by the way. So Georgina, whatever you say is literally gonna win or lose it.
Oh,
Georgina.
I'm going with 64.
Okay. 64 is the final guess. Guys, it is 60. Oranges, congratulations. You have won. If you'd have only said 62, Georgina, it would have been yours. Oranges walk away with the win. Congratulations. You have 8. You finish on 8. Blues, you finish on 2. The great thing is, guys, is I'm actually going to keep a record of what team you're in. So if you come onto a future show, you can stick to the same team and we can keep a running record. I know Georgina's going to come back on the Blues and she's going to want to win because I know she's competitive. Probably a little bit more competitive than Annelouise, may I say. May I not? I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, maybe I'm just nice now. Maybe I'm just a nice person.
I'm nice.
So that is, I mean, what a great way to end the show. Absolutely brilliant. To find out more, just quickly, to find out more about what has been shared on the show, if you visit the YouTube, the Edpuzzle YouTube channel, youtube.com/Edpuzzle. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the image that's popped up here. It's got a range of videos, tutorials that show you how to use some of the features that have just been mentioned by some of our experts in the show. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who has joined us, both the people who have joined us live, who have been giving us a little bit of feedback in the comments. Great to see the support, and the people in the party. Let's just jump back into the party room. Georgina, Adam, Jimena, David, Annelouise, Nuriye, and of course Lenny and her beautiful little baby. Guys, really look forward to having you back on the show at some point. David, Annelouise, and Adam, would you possibly like to appear again on that future show to share what you've learned with Edpuzzle? Would that be okay?
No choice.
Brilliant.
I've already put their names down. Yeah,
Brilliant, guys. I love it. And honestly, please stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to be ending the show now. Thank you very much, guys. I do want to say, if you do use video content in your lessons, please consider using something like Edpuzzle to enhance the engagement. It will obviously also make your life a little bit easier. You can get started on edpuzzle.com. You can see the link down at the bottom of my screen. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a fantastic week, yourself, your students, your colleagues, and I wish you the very best. Until next time, take care. Bye. And all the best.
Bye.